And that could have a huge impact on real estate in Sacramento and beyond. John is with a Zillow economist to break this all down.
Yeah, guys, we are talking about more than $700 million in rent payments at risk now. Of course, landlords lots of times use that rent to pay mortgages, and that could then cause ripple effects. Skylar Olson, senior principal economist at Zillow, is here to help us break it down this morning. Good morning. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I just want to start with kind of what I think the big question a lot of people would have is, what do we think the impact this would have on the housing market, I should say, not just apartments, but real estate that people own and things like that. What do we think this could do down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. When we think about the down the road idea, right, first we want to capture, how much of this is due to people coming home from, say, college, right, with massive campus closures. Mm-hmm. And so then the big question is, will campuses be reopening in fall? And those students will go back onto campus living or their apartments closer by campus. But the other thing to really keep in mind is that employment for adults under the age of 25 dropped 25% over the course of all the job loss due to the recent coronavirus. Now, employment in this younger age category is also slower to return generally during recoveries, right? Employment in younger adults just tends to lag and get, a bit higher in terms of unemployment when we go through recessions. Now the question is, how quickly will service jobs and other jobs that are more likely to employ younger adult ages, how quickly will they return? Now, okay, that's getting a picture for how big that size is. Let's talk Sacramento. If we think about, the size of the Gen Z population and its impact on the rental market, about 14.5% of renters in Sacramento are in Gen Z that's experiencing massive job loss, right? And then also return from college campuses. That's where they were before the pandemic. That's 1.5% of the total rent that flows into the Sacramento rental market. Okay, that's $6.5 million. All right, that's at risk of not being paid. When that kind of stuff is not being paid, landlords often will need to lower their rent in order to get new tenants, right? Or are negotiating lower rent with those existing in order to get them to stay. So we would expect rents to go particularly soft in this over the course of the recovery.
They want me to wrap, but I have to ask you one very quick question. If you're someone that has a mortgage, owns a house, you're not a landlord, you just own your own home, are you immune to this? Are you insulated from this?
Interesting. Well, housing has a life cycle, right? In terms of, your home equity is supported by the fact that plenty of people are going to be coming up behind you in those younger generations that have demand for your home, right? A lot of economic instability means it's harder for them to get access to homeownership from savings or credit or anything like that. And if this is another signal that the beginning of the pipeline to the demand for your house is really in trouble, then you could ultimately be affected down the road, but not in the near moment. As a homeowner right now, you should feel pretty confident. The for-sale market is looking very resilient at this moment.
Skylar, good to know. Thank you so much. We're out of time. Really appreciate you breaking that down for us. Guys?